Let's talk a little bit about business immigration in general. There's a lot of variables for this depending on what business you have, the size or stage of the business, the target market, whether you're a startup founder or a brick and mortar small business restaurant owner. I mean, there's just so much. So I'm curious, what are some popular or up and coming or promising destination countries for business owners looking to emigrate? And how should they sort of narrow down their choice? What variables should they look at to help make that decision?
It's the same. Because there was huge changes and huge upwards on the pandemic thing, the more countries are trying to find new ways to attract foreign entrepreneurs to come into their countries and start businesses. And it's not just about that you relocate yourself and then you restart the businesses, but there's different levels and different requirements. If we go to a country generally in the EU, you can take example like Portugal, Spain, Greece, or Malta. They have different programs with different requirements, but they say you can invest. For example, we're just giving like definite guidelines but it can fit to different countries. You have to invite 100K euros into the country, into new business, and you have to employ 5 local residents, whatever they are, national of the country or residents or EU nationals. And once you qualify for this, we will give you like 5-year residence visa into the country. After the 5 years, you'll be able to extend your stay and get a permanent resident. There's different way to this. Some countries, for example, like Slovakia, they give you 1-year temporary visa to move to the country. And then during this year, you start the business, you invest, and you hire. And before the year is finished, the check your current progress and everything is moving into the plan. They give you another 5 years. So that's one of the ways. The other ways that you have to prove that you have access to fund, you have a business plan, and you have an idea, and you put all the documents in certain way, and then you have to convince the government that everything is done in order, and they give you like 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years, depending on the country that you're applying. And during this time, you have to prove what you have promised. And that's new program that we didn't see before. You don't have to invest at all before going to the countries. There is other countries like there is a very famous business visa, but it's not slightly for everyone. In the UK, it's called the UK investor visa. It's required 2 million sterling pounds, but you have to approve the funds. You have to make sure that you have the fund not in business but in personal needs for 2 years before applying. I think the UK government and also other governments are trying to come with different programs. Even Ireland have their own investor entrepreneur visa or business visas, and there is more needs and more demand, especially in economics in the developed world, that they open more visa categories, especially business, for not just normal traditional business, but tech entrepreneurs and people who would like to move to the country to start business and employ more local resident citizens. That will be a trend in the coming, I think, in the coming years.
All right. So I guess where do you see it going for, let's say, startup founders? The US has always been a huge draw just because of the network effect of Silicon Valley and the amount of investor money that's there, and because so many great products have come out of there or launched first there and succeeded on the global scale. What are some other places or countries or locations that you think could sort of compete for interest from tech entrepreneurs in the next 5-10 years?
There's a couple of very famous programs beside the US. There's a startup visa in Canada, and there's one on the UK, which was discussed before. There is one in Chile and Latin America, which is getting popularity now because they are not asking for any upfront investment or to prove. There is also other countries trying to come up with a similar way of startup visa, like Turkey. They have different ways to set up a business and stay of the country, because the local economy and the region itself is booming. There is also, if we go to other countries like Singapore and Hong Kong, there is more programs. They don't label the program as a startup visa actually, but they have, we can consider it as a way of starting up in other countries, especially Singapore. They have huge pool of accelerators and investors. They have similar network effect of Silicon Valley, especially in the Asian region, where you'll be able to start your business and take it to the next step. So that's how we see business are going. One country which is adding more programs, especially during the last 6 months, is United Arab Emirates, with Abu Dhabi and Dubai. They are competing. Actually, they are just a couple of hundred miles near, but they are competing together how to address different entrepreneurs, and they base themselves in the city and use it at a global scale to launch their startup. So there is access to qualified labor, the access to also investors, especially in the Middle East and GCC region. So I think there is more countries coming into the global scale. Also, we see programs from continents like Africa. There is a program that been launched late from Mauritius, where they can come to start a business, which have a very tax advantage, and also the cost of doing business in Mauritius actually is very low compared to other similar developed countries.